Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, today I've decided to bring it all the way down. We're going to bring it all the way down. Because there is this lady on Instagram. Y'all might have seen her. Black lady. She's a pretty lady. And she's always talking about relationships and things like that. And she whispers everything. And she's just like, my babies and pretty babies and all that. And I like that. Listen, I'm not trying to be yelling at y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? I don't like it. So we gonna bring it all the way down. But we gonna talk about the pod because we have gotten quite a few episodes in between. So we're gonna talk about it. Nothing in particular. We just gonna talk about them and what's been happening recently. All right, let's get into it. You guys, one thing I want to point out real quick before it's going to be very random, and it's because it just came up, and I want to bring it up or say it before I forget. These people on this pod, they're so insensitive. I mean, we already know that, but my God. First of all, we had Joe on the episode The Bane of My Existence with Ice talking about the dog is the bane of his existence. That shit was hilarious. But we have, they're talking about going on cruises and everything. He said he's never been on one. And Mona's like, why have you never been on one? He says, because my brother tried to drown me once. Do you know they just bypassed that shit? Nobody even said anything. Nobody delved deeper into that, or they didn't even acknowledge it. Then we have on another episode, shit, could have been the same one. It actually may have been the same one. I can't remember. But they were talking about walking around with something in your pants. And Ish says to Imani, so it was actually a Patreon episode. Ish says to Imani, nigga, you walked around with a straw in your pants for months. And they were like, oh my God, they laughed and everything, like, oh, that ain't right, that ain't right. But they laughed. Insensitive as well. Then Mona's like, wait, what? What? Because, of course, she wasn't there. And we know Mona didn't really watch the pod too much beforehand. So she's like, wait, what? What happened? And so Park says, do you want it to be funny or you want it to be serious? And he's like, please pick funny. And she says, okay, funny. And then Park says, yeah, Imani had cancer. And they start laughing. And she's like, what? Oh my God, Imani. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, seriously, are you kidding me? Then, as they're talking about that, and Mona is telling him that she's sorry to hear that and everything, she says, my mom just found out, like, a couple days ago, or either Thanksgiving, something like that, that she has cancer. Do you know they never said anything about it? They never said sorry to hear that. They never acknowledged it. I mean, so much insensitivity going all around. It drove me crazy. It drove me crazy. Then Imani got upset because Joe kind of alluded to the fact of not believing that he really had cancer. And Imani, we know Imani is sensitive. Imani takes everything very seriously. I mean, and I'm not mad at him for this or whatever, but he really got offended by that shit. And he was just like, listen, I told you don't do that. Don't do that. And Joe said, okay, I'll never do it again. Don't believe him, but he set him straight. But yeah, how are you going to sit up and joke about maybe he didn't really have cancer and just coming out? He had a straw in his pants. Like, are you kidding me? That is very sensitive. I mean, that is a very serious situation that they are making light of. But anyway, we're going to move on. Ingrates. Yep, let's talk about how they are also ingrates. Joe gave them 2,500 cash for a bonus. We know what a bonus means. A bonus means this is not part of your regular pay. This is something to, show you how much we appreciate you. Thank you. It's a Christmas bonus. Not only does Mark not celebrate Christmas, but he was waiting on that bonus. Then he made a whole lot of different jokes about how it kind of wasn't enough. You got to read in between. It wasn't even that hard to do. The jokes that Mark says. And the biggest thing to me, you guys, is that no one said thank you on that pod. And I'm going to stress on that pod because for sure I was looking for it. I think I rewound it. I was looking for it, didn't get it. Maybe Parks, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't remember hearing a thank you from anyone. until I saw a behind the scenes of when, they did or whatever. And then I heard Mark say thank you. I could be wrong. And the guy who came and got his money from the back, I don't know, Poe, Keeb, whoever it was that came and got it, I think he said thank you, but I'm not sure. I just know that I didn't hear a whole lot of thank yous. I heard a whole lot of it's about time, or this is what we put. Like, it was just, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I know Joe's a jerk. I say it all the time. Joe's an ass. He is. He's a jerk. He's an ass. But I also say how giving he is. And I'm not saying 2,500 is like amazing. It's not making or breaking him. If he's making, what, 20 million, was it a month? Is that what they were telling us? 20 million a month? Then that's nothing to him. However, it's the thought that counts and the fact that he gave. And I thought that it was very sweet. And again, I thought, people not giving him gifts, that kind of sucks to me. I think it's because I'm a giver. I'm a giver. Like, I love giving gifts. And I just keep going back to the fact that he gave them all gifts, Christmas gifts the other year that nobody, what was it? I think maybe even last year that nobody gave him a gift or except Parks or something like that. And why the fuck are they letting Parks be the only one that run around with manners around here? Y'all really, really letting the white boy outshine y'all? Y'all gonna let him outshine y'all. Anyway, y'all know I don't feel Parks, so we move. Speaking of Parks, you guys, there was an episode recently where Joe told Parks to mute up. Yes, he did. And I know it because it was the best thing I ever heard. He told him either shut up, Park. I think he said shut up, Parks. And I know he said it for sure because I wrote it in the comments. I said that is the best thing you have said all episode. Shut up, Parks. Because yes, it's not just me. And I'm glad it's not just me that is noticing and that's very irritated by the fact that Parks talk too fucking much. And he over talks like crazy. You could be in the middle of a sentence. Parks is going to get his corny ass joke off. Like he's gonna just cut you off. He doesn't care. And it's so annoying. It's so annoying. All the cutting off and not letting people finish. And sometimes people be telling stories you interested in and they won't let them finish. It's just, they still got to work on that, you guys. It's still a problem. Mona, let's talk about Mona. Y'all know, still don't have anything bad to say. Is she super ghetto? Absolutely. But I like it. I like her. Um, Funny again. I think she had a really great episode. What was it, last Friday? She had a great episode once again. She carried the whole fucking, it was either, no, actually, I think it was the Patreon episode where Mona carried the whole entire Patreon episode. And it's so funny because in the comments you can see half the people love her, the other half want her to shut up. And I don't know. I mean, maybe we can meet in the middle because she does get long winded. When she gets a hold of something, it's like, okay, girl, just say it one time. Just don't, you don't have to keep going and keep going. But she's funny. She's funny. And when she shut up, nobody says anything. So it's like if she wasn't speaking, who's going to be speaking? Who's going to be talking? These motherfuckers don't be saying nothing. A bunch of nothing. And speaking of a bunch of nothing, that's what the pod is about now, you guys. It is a regular Seinfeld episode where it is a pod about nothing. Like, they don't talk about shit. One thing they did talk about that I want to point out is the Doechii song. And they played a little bit of it. And I guess she was saying something to the people calling her industry plant. And immediately I thought she was talking to Joe. Because Joe absolutely, most definitely called her an industry plant. Even after she had come up there. I think it was because she was on all these different shows, this and that or whatever. And I don't even think he alluded to it. I think he came right out and said it. I could be wrong, but he definitely made out like he thought she was an industry plant. He liked her, he championed her and everything, but also still said she was kind of an industry plant. But now that she came out with this song, he's like, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm glad she said something to the people. I'm glad, the people calling her a plant. And I'm like, am I crazy or did he not? And I know I'm not crazy because somebody in the comments said the same exact goddamn thing. Like, we can't all be crazy. Joe just don't stand on shit that he says. He don't stand on nothing. But yeah, that's the only thing I want to point out. Back to Mona and the fact that I watched the behind the scenes today. First of all, let's talk about the behind the scenes and the cooking segments with Kino and Edith. You guys, Edith is a nice white lady or whatever. That's fine, but I don't understand the super hype. And I'm not trying to hate on her. She's a really nice white lady. However, they just be going crazy in the comments, and she say that her Instagram, they be all in her DMs like crazy and everything. I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it, but okay. Kino said not so much, and that I understand. Don't nobody like Kino. Kino is still an ass, and you could tell. You could tell because today when they were cooking, he couldn't stir. He was like, "Yeah, the bowl's not big enough, and you can't get it all in." And she's like, "No, just do it like this first, and then it kind of breaks it up, and then you can get it." And he's like, "Oh, because my hands are too big." And she said, "Yeah, that's absolutely not the reason." And I said, "Okay, okay, sis, I'm with you on that one. Don't let him gaslight you on that shit. No, it's not because you have big hands. You didn't know what you were doing." And we can see that Edith is the one that knows her way around the kitchen. Even if Kino does not and he's just learning from her, I think it's great that he's in the kitchen, so I'm not hating. But I don't need to see them go to the store. That is the only part that I don't like. I am all here for them cooking and all that. And at first I thought I would watch it, but after today I don't think so. Like I really don't want to see that. But I really, really don't want to see them in the car headed to the store and grocery shopping and all that shit. No, I don't want to see it. Like, save it. Save that. Then we have the commenters talking about how Ish is all over Edith in the kitchen. And I don't know that I saw that. I don't know that I saw that. Um, I don't know, you guys. I just didn't pick up that, and it'd be a lot of stuff that people pick up that I don't really see. So maybe I'm off. I don't know. People were thinking that Mona really had a crush on Ish, and I don't think so. Like for sure, I don't think so. She is an Aquarian like myself, and again, we are very complimentary. Like we'll compliment it if we feel it. Like we're not just gonna make up a goddamn compliment. However, we know that people like compliments, and if it's there, then why not give you that to make you feel good? That's what we're all about. See, I went back into the whisper thing. But yeah, and you could tell she doesn't like Ish for real because when they went did the whole thing of, yeah, Mona knows where he lives and she's been to the house, and she said, "Listen." And that was the only time she was joking, but she was kind of lightweight serious. Where she said, "Listen, this man got somebody at that house. Don't have her, DMing me and saying shit, thinking something is going on." Like she's stopped the narrative right here. So unlike Melissa, she's not playing into that shit, and she did it with somebody else too. I can't remember. It was on this behind the scenes that I watched today, where she was just like, "Nah, he got somebody at home. Don't play like that." So yeah. But in the kitchen, it should be all over Mona. I'm sorry. Am I the only one? But again, I don't think it's in a way of him liking her. I just think he really, really rocks with Mona. And like he's laughing and hugging on her and just kind of all over her in a bit, a little bit. And I don't think it's anything there other than just normal we cool. Like I could be I could be wrong, but I don't see it that way. But I have noticed that he's like really, really touchy feely with Mona. Oh, speaking of Mona coming in, and he's like pull a seat up and wouldn't tell them who's coming in, and then Mona came in when Flip was there. I thought that was cool. And so Flip pretty much crashed one of her days, so she crashed Flip's day, and I thought that was cool. I do think Flip is like dying of jealousy of Mona. Like, and he'll let it be known. Listen, I'm not friends with y'all. That's what he said behind the scenes or whatever. I'm not friends with y'all. I'm not fucking with y'all. Y'all be up in here smiling in my face. And then on Friday, it's like, we had such a great time. He's so jealous of the fact that they have a genuine relationship with Mona and they genuinely like her and she's not doing backflips. She's just being herself. And I think Flip just needs to calm down. And I think he likes Mona. Like he went to her show. I don't know. I don't know. Flip is hard to really he's kind of hard to really understand because he'll act like he don't like you and everything, but he supports them. Listen, he does the same thing with Mark. So it's kind of hard. I don't know. He went to her show, he showed support, or he could have just been there hating. Like, let me see this show. Let me see how funny she is not, or whatever. I don't know. But I do know that when they're up there, he's very jealous, and he also tries to run her. Although I think he believes he's helping, and that's the stuff that really irritates Mona. The fact that he thinks he's like her manager, like she was in the kitchen at one point, and he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? We're on here. We're on," and she's just like, "Damn, why are you talking to me?" And I think that's where they kind of bump heads, where Flip means well. I do think he mean well, and he, wants her to succeed or whatever. But you're not her manager. You're not her manager. And then he seems like he's going above and beyond, trying to make them laugh on his days or whatever. And I like Flip, and I just really want him to calm down and just be himself. Just be yourself. You were funny, like you grew on me. So like it's all about me, right? Be yourself, and I like you. Um, just kidding. And then let's talk about Dr. Mark, who has not been there. He hasn't been there. He's been on vacation. So there's nothing to talk about. So we move. Let's talk about the fact that Joe said he takes Ozempic. However, it is not Ozempic. It is something else. It's one of those other brands, those other off brands. And I said, "Oh, looky. I am sure Melissa Ford is somewhere like, this motherfucker gave me the blues about taking this thing or whatever. And now he's taking it, and then he's doing the same thing she was doing. Oh, it's not Ozempic. It's not Ozempic. Semantics, sir." And he's all, yeah, he's not hungry, and he's sitting there looking like he's about to pass out and everything. And I'm like, same thing you clowned this girl on and said that she was in the back, laying down like she was dying. Yeah, because you guys are not eating at all, and you have zero energy. Been there, not on the Ozempic thing, but like these diet pills that I had taken before, where you had zero appetite, which means you weren't eating anything. And I was literally laid out, not laid out, but I was laid on the couch at work, laid down or whatever. And I was just like, I got the flu. I got the flu. And I was just out of it. And they sent me home. And it was definitely because of these, diet pills or whatever. But yeah, I just think Joe is interesting. He's interesting. All right, something else I noticed before I wrap it up, because oh my God, I'm almost at 20 minutes of bullshit. 20 minutes of nothingness. But hopefully you are here. Hopefully you are entertained a little bit, because I'm about to start my commentary again. Like, I'm about to get back on my shit, guys. That's what I said, and that's what I'm gonna do. But behind the scenes, we found out that Ice talk a lot. Ice talk a lot. Too much, where I was behind the scenes, watching behind the scenes, and I'm like, could he shut up? Like, just shut up. And I'm sorry, Ice is just never interesting to me. Nothing that he says is ever interesting to me. So there's that. Then it's so funny because I don't know what I was watching, or if it was a commentator or something. It may have been Danny on the Stop. I don't know. He's actually the only one that I can watch, because he's the only one that I agree with sometimes on, some of his takes. So it had to have been him, saying that he's not sure if the other guys think the same way that the commenters think about Ice and his girlfriend. And we know that the commenters and myself, we all think that Ice's girlfriend is with him because he got money and because he's on this show. Because look at Ice, y'all. Come on, look at Ice. And she's a pretty girl. And she's a young girl. She got like 1,200 kids. He said, listen, I don't care. I don't care. I'll take you and the kids. You're my rib. You're my backbone. You're my missing piece. You're everything. So I'm going to take you. But somebody was saying they wonder if that, I don't know. But bottom line is, Joe actually did make a joke about it this past week, where he said something about she got all these kids, and Ice was just like, come on, bring everybody. I don't care. And I'm like, yeah, these guys know that Ice would not be able to get this girl. Ice would not be able to get this girl if he did not have money and was not seen on this show. But listen, It is what it is. And Ish. Ish hasn't really been doing anything. He's been joining in. He's been talking. He's been fine. He's been fine. I mean, he's still on the phone a lot, and I do like the fact that Joe calls him out now. Like, just what are you doing? Get off the phone. It's very irritating. It's like, dude, join in. But for the most part, I think Ish is fine. Ish talks, and again, he really enjoys Mona. Like, she cracks him up, and we're just gonna talk about the giggling again. Outside the giggling, it's just fine. It's fine. But that's it, you guys. I think that's all I have. If you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family. Like the video, it does wonders for the algorithms, analytics, all of that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.